What's going on, everybody? Oh, I just turned everything down. There we go. What's going on? All right, guys, listen. We had two of the most sought after relationship gurus out in the space duking it out on Hardly Initiated. Shout out to Hardly Initiated. They have some dope conversation over there. But before I go any further, I want to shout out everybody that's in the chat. I see you, Chelsea and CP the Artist. You're here. We got people watching on YouTube and Facebook at the same time. Now, listen, those of you guys that are watching on Facebook, I need you guys to do something for me. If you're watching on Facebook right now, I'm probably not going to let it live stream through Facebook too long. So I need you to go to youtube.com/Harrison Family Values. And when you go there, you'll see this live stream. Join the live stream there and join the conversation there. But if you're watching on YouTube, you're straight. All right, we're gonna have a nice conversation and really get into this. So let me see how this works. What's going on, Chelsea? Glad you are here. Glad you are here, sis. This is always here. So I appreciate you. And CP the Artist. CP the Artist is here. Now, you saw that thumbnail? My brother, CP the Artist, had to solicit his help to make that thumbnail. So, guys, thank you guys so much for being here. We're going to get into this dope conversation. Let me see if I can get this off. So, listen, we all know that in this modern time, dating is not easy. In fact, it's pretty difficult. We have people who are really, really getting relationships all messed up, all wrong, and it's because of who they're seeking advice from. Now, I say that because I haven't been a follower of both these brothers. I'm going to be honest with you. One, I can probably, rock with. The other, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Danger.
And I say that because one is married. What's going on, Blaxploitation? Glad you're here. I'm saying that because one is married and has a platform where he talks about relationships, and I think he does tend to talk a little bit more toward women, both of them, in fact, but at least one is married. The other one, beyond pandering, and I'm trying to be objective here, just I've seen some of his stuff, and his body of work leaves a lot to be desired if you're coming from somebody who want a balanced type of relationship in a marriage where it's mutually benefiting both people and the goal is marriage and family. And I got to be honest with you, these two brothers, it was an entertaining conversation. And it got hot for a couple of minutes, but it was entertaining. I'm talking about none other than Tony Gaskins and Ace Metaphor. Now, Tony Gaskins, the one that I can rock with a little bit, okay? Even my wife would, on occasion, send me videos. But I tell you why I didn't watch him for a while. There was a time when athletes who were good-looking, who had nice eyes and, were handsome, was in the social media content space talking to women and coming off like they were the epitome of what women should be looking for in men. So I didn't really, and I'm going to be honest with you, I think Tony Gaskins came off that way, but I think he loves God, but he came off that way in the very beginning. But then we have people like Ace Metaphor who, it just seems like he's not living what he has all the right things to say to pander to a specific audience. But I don't know if the end result is going to be beneficial because, again, at least Tony Gaskins looking for a couple to be married and want to support that. Ace Metaphor has a lot of conversations with single people that aren't really looking for marriage in essence. A lot of them are asking questions about themselves and not really asking the right questions about what do I need to do to become a better person or whatever. But one interesting thing about Ace Metaphor is
Danger.
he was linked to both Stephane Lavoisier and Derek Jackson at one point. They actually did a couple of collab together to do like that question and answer type of thing. And one is getting a divorce. I think the other got a divorce. And I'm a divorcee, so I'm not here to judge. and one isn't married. Ace Metaphor isn't married. Now, in this video, he says that he's in a committed relationship, but I think Tony Gaskin, you know what? Let me just let Tony Gaskin speak for himself, because I've been told that my intros are a little bit too long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right into this conversation. Now, if you guys can hear the conversation, please let me know by putting a 1 in the chat. Okay? If you can hear it, please put a 1 in the chat. Now, I'm starting from the 7:15 mark, and I'm giving you guys sort of like a preface of what they're going to be discussing, because Tony Gaskin is not one to cater to or to entertain relationship gurus who are not married, who tends to make a lot of money in the relationship space, and they're not who they are telling other people to be, or women what they should want. And pretty interesting. And I actually align with him in this specific area too. So let's listen to Tony Gaskins on this. And shout out to Harley Initiated for having this conversation first with him, and then inviting Ace Metaphor, or allowing Ace Metaphor to come onto the chat. So that was interesting.
The thing about it,
put a 1 in the chat if you can hear it.
One white guy, I think his name like Matthew something, and kind of exploiting the industry.
Matthew Hussey.
Yeah,
and he's talking about exploiting the relationship industry. Okay,
the only white guy
What's going on?
That I could think of.
Sis?
But I see a long laundry list of black males coming in, cheating on women, in fornication, don't desire marriage, but telling people how to make a relationship work, but not going out to implement it. And that's my main thing, is like,
now, and he's right here. He's absolutely correct. There's a lot of people in this relationship space that's telling others how they should be and what they should be looking for, but they themselves aren't doing it. I have something like an eyelash that's bothering me. So you have people telling, with these huge followings and making a lot of money and booking out arenas, not arenas, but like stadiums, not even stadiums, like churches and theaters around the nation, talking to women and men about relationships, and they themselves aren't in a solid relationship, at least in a marriage, right? And I think he's right here. It seems like everybody in this, not everybody, I hate speaking in absolutes, but it seems like there's a lot of people that sees a niche and a lane to make money, a lane to monetize and to capitalize off of, and they run into it and they make a lot of money. And truth be told, you don't have to do a lot today to be considered an expert as far as preparation. All you got to do is say the right thing to the right group of people, and they're going to platform you and make you their leader. So you don't have to do the work. You don't have to go to school. You don't have to get training or do the research. You just got to have an idea that other people tend to like the red pill. The red pill is so big, not because these people are actually experts to know what they're talking about. They're big because they know how to exploit the feelings of the men who feel rejected by women. And modern feminism, big because of the very same thing. They exploit the negative feelings that women have because of relationships. And it seems like some people in space do the same thing. They're not married. They're not faithful to their wives. They're not. They're sleeping around in every city that they go to when they're speaking. And Tony Gaskins right here. He's 100% on it. What's going on, Marilyn? My cousin Marilyn from Trinidad. Glad you were here. And it's a fact. So he's right.
Don't come tell me how to perfect my body if you ain't working out. And so it angers me, like when Jesus flipped over them tables. I have a righteous indignation about it, because I'm dealing with people who coming close to losing their life. And so that's where I feel like to do this as a man, it's hard to do.
Now, this is why I gain a lot of respect for Tony Gaskins. I do. I have a lot of respect for him. And because he means well, he's on the right path. He's definitely, he loves God. Even my wife and I would have conversations about him. But he loves God, and I think he really does want to see people end up in a solid marriage. So I can rock with him because of that.
To give away the game, to break the man code. You see how many guys, when y'all posted me on your Instagram, how many guys was calling me stupid, calling me ignorant, a simp.
Yeah.
It's hard to do that. You want to be liked by your male counterparts. You want to be respected. You want to be appreciated. So to come out and give away the game, you have to be very committed to it, or you got to have ulterior motives.
He's absolutely right. Absolutely right. If you are committed to the game, it's not about just making money or giving people what they want to hear. It's about telling them what's beneficial for the long run. Now, here's the thing. Tony Gaskins will share this a little bit later. Strong communities exist because they have strong marriages. Strong marriages is the bedrock of every strong community. You'll find it there. But what's happening today is, and if you look at the numbers, the divorce rate is dropping, and it's not because, it's more marriages are just being successful. It's because less marriages are happening today. It's a numbers game. Less and less people are getting married. They're living in cohabitating type of relationships. They're not getting married. They're not really committed to each other. They can easily get out. And if there's no children involved, it's a clean slate. It's a clean slate. So marriage is on a decline in many communities because people don't find the sense of marriage, or they believe this idea that it's only a piece of paper, and they devalue marriage. But the Bible said that marriage should be held in honor of all. Like, everybody should hold marriage in high honor. That's what the Bible says. But we're not seeing that today. We're not. And it's because people devalue it. And I'm going to be honest with you. This is just my opinion about this. I think that Ace Metaphor is a reason for that. And the reason why I say that is because in his talks, in his groups, he's not really promoting marriage like that. He's not. And he himself isn't married. And I think Tony exposed this. Tony said this. Like, there's a lot of relationship gurus out there that's not married. And I think the best person to talk to about marriage, especially if you're a man, is another married man who's older, who's more wiser, who's been through it, the ups and downs, and has come out better on the other side. Not somebody who is in their mid-30s, who has never gone through any formal training and counseling or whatever, who has never been married, who has spent the better part of his adult life telling people about how they should be in relationships, and they themselves have not really expressed. And not only that, their relationships are being hidden. One specific individual, DJ, he was married. His wife was attending his talks. She was there. And many times, I knew of one person who his wife took the picture of her and him. She was behind the scenes supporting him. People thought that he was single, supporting him, taking pictures of his female fans with him. If you are married, if you're in a committed relationship and you're in this space of relationships, it's beneficial for you to let people know that you're not. Because Tony Gaskins, what I respect about him also, when he was on Hardly Initiated before, he said this. He says, I have a large female audience because a lot of the female audience want to be with me. He was like, he's not naive to it. And when he said that, I was like, that's respect. Because he acknowledges the fact that some of these women are out there and they fantasize about being with him, or they even compare the men that they're with him. And if you are a woman, you're married, and you compare your husband to this man, you got serious issues and you need to repent. I'm just saying. But back to you. He said it like it is. Like, listen, these women, they fantasize over me. They wish that they can have a man like me. I'm married. I'm committed. And this is why I rock with Tony Gaskins now. This is why. But Ace Metaphor is very different. And while he was talking to Hardly Initiated, Tony Gaskins, Ace Metaphor called up on the show. Tony Gaskins was calling out fake relationship gurus. He even named a couple by name. Like, he said a couple of their names. Ace Metaphor was one of them. And then Ace Metaphor called in and they got into it, right? And we're going to watch that and we're going to let it rock for a little bit. And I'm going to stop and give my commentary. But listen, this was a good conversation.
In the wrong room. So check this out, y'all. We're getting this video together. We're getting this video right. So y'all just be patient here with us. But this is going to be a plot twist for the night.
Listen.
And TG, if this is okay with you, I want to actually do this because you never know who's watching the show.
And if you want to support the channel, pick up some merch. Greatly appreciate it. All right. How you guys doing over on Facebook? You guys doing okay?
And it's actually interesting here that I actually have on here the brother Ace Metaphor actually just entered
the chat.
It just entered the video.
That's crazy.
And
about to get real. About to get real.
Respond on his perspective because the brother is literally in here backstage right now
about to get real.
as I'm taking video calls.
Listen.
Now, if that's okay, do you mind me bringing up Ace? Let him say his point. Ace. So I'm actually about to bring Ace up here to the forefront. And
what's going on?
Ace,
Yo,
what is popping with you, Ace? We got Ace and TV live in effect. What's up?
Look at how he's like trying to be sly in the cut. Come on, man.
Hey, you know when you got to go to the basement and turn on the studio lights and say, "What's up, man? What's going on?"
Wow.
Hey,
yo, nice to meet you officially.
Everybody knows this setup right here, Ace.
Yes, sir. How y'all been, brothers?
Good, man. Good. Yeah, glad you.
And Hardly Initiated really grew their channel in a very positive way, and to the point where they have Tony Gaskins and Ace Metaphor on their live. Like it's a dope platform. Really
join
is.
us, man. Look, glad you got the production set up. You
My-
got that light going.
Chelsea is on it. Thank you, Chelsea. Thank you so much.
It's
Greatly
interesting that you
appreciate
came
your
up here.
support.
Shout out for you being on the Harley Initiated video right now. Obviously, you know, Tony has made the way he feels and his stance clear about making sure that people are able to get the best guidance possible from the coaches and the experts in the space.
And I will say this, though, you're absolutely right, G. France, but Tony Gaskins definitely talks about God. In fact, God is at the center of what he does. So yeah, he's different than a lot of the others out there.
Your platform actually,
or they're not using God to mask their mistakes. Like, you know, everybody got to forgive them because God would forgive them. Shout out to Derek Jackson.
was one that was mentioned. So what's your take and what's your perspective on what was stated?
So first, did you hear what was stated?
Yeah, I rewatched it. You know, everybody, internet is funny. They tag you real fast. Here's the thing. I respectfully disagree with my brother there. And the reason why I disagree is because there are all sorts of people from all sorts of walks of life. While I understand your perspective as a married man, brother, and this is also tagged along to the Instagram post that you guys made a couple weeks ago. While I do understand your perspective, there are so many people right now struggling with dating, getting in and out of situations.
Now let me talk about this real quick, okay? If you look at the Instagrams, I should put them up. I should find the Instagrams. Either way, if you go to Ace Metaphor and you look at his Instagram, right? A lot of his posts now, presently, is about his talks, right, and his panels and stuff like that. But prior, he was on. I gotta say it, on his Instagram and social media, thirst trapping for women, shirt off, showing off whatever muscles he built and all that stuff. And I'm like, Well, Tony Gaskins, he's a family man. His wife is up there. There's no mention or anything on it on Ace Metaphor's social media about his current committed relationship. But I digress.
Relationships, getting their heart broken. And even then I can say to you, brother, that maybe you're out of touch there. You know what I'm saying? So there are people that I bring on my panel that have walked and touched all different parts of life. This woman may be able to speak to this particular experience. This man may be able to speak to that particular experience. And that might reach somebody in that audience a little bit differently than you can. It doesn't mean that it's better, worse, or indifferent. It just means there are different perspectives. To think that all human beings are monolithic, that our walks of life all take the same course and the same path, and that there's one set of advice to give to all different people, to me seems out of touch, and it disqualifies a lot of people's personal experiences.
Now, I want to shout out to Ace Metaphor. He's a great communicator. He's gaslighting here, but he's a great communicator. The brother he got the gift of gab. Tony Gaskins' position is that dating should lead to marriage. You can't get any more clearer than that. The issue that I have with Ace Metaphor is that there's no clear position that he's coming from. So it's not like because he just said that, you know, the people come from different walks of life and all that stuff. Yes. But here's the thing about all the different walks of life. You can have different walks of life, but I guarantee that the end goal for dating should be marriage. That's the goal. All right. People want to be in a committed relationship and married. So to say that, it's just it's like it's sort of like apples and oranges here. Ace Metaphor is talking to the more, I hate to say it like this, but the more selfishly immature crowd that just want to date for recreational purposes, while Tony Gaskins looking to talk to people about having solid marriages. But let's continue.
One of the things I want to correct real quick that I heard that was spoken, now that we know the name is on there, like, we do have married people on our panel. That was the most confusing part about the whole thing. There are married people and there are actual relationship coaches and professionals that we bring. We have had therapists, we have had life coaches, we have had mentors, we've had people that are actively in the community be regular parts of our discussions. And so I just felt like it was a little bit of misinformation, and it comes from not actually, observing what we got going on.
I observe what you have going on, but let me ask you this.
Like, Tony Gaskin is coming off in his grown man energy too. Like he's got the, he already got like an old soul type of voice, right? You hear him talk and you think that he's like in his 60s, but no, the brother's 39.
What is the purpose of dating?
It depends on who you asking.
Do you see that, right? So he's right in the sense that it depends on who you're asking. But if Ace Metaphor is a leader in the space, you have to clearly identify what is your purpose in this space. Is it just to have conversation with people? If that's the case, don't pretend to be a relationship guru. Don't pretend to be a relationship expert or even give advice. Don't do that. Just say, hey, I want to have conversations with people and get people thinking about relationships. Stop, because his whole platform was built on giving women advice and what men to avoid and what red flags to look for in men. And this is coming from a non-married man.
My purpose, if you ask me specifically,
in the scope of society, in the scope of family, what is the purpose of dating?
For some people, for a large percentage of the people, the scope of dating, if you're being intentional, is to find a husband or wife.
Correct. So,
but
now he talks, and now here's the thing about Ace Metaphor, and this is where the hypocrisy is shown. He tells women, and I've seen this from him in his little shorts, and when I say little shorts, I'm not belittling his. He has a great quality, all that stuff. So when I say little short, I'm saying because it's a tiny short. It's a short, but he just said right that dating with intention. And he tells women that you got to be dating with intention. He says that often, right? And if he's not saying that specifically, which he does say, he's saying things that point to it, but saying that is for different people. You're telling women that they should date with intention, but then saying to Tony Gaskin that dating is not the same for everybody, right? It's only the same for everybody if you're dating with intention. So he's a great communicator. I see everybody in the chat, all right? I see you guys. Gracious greatness, thank you so much for being here. A great communicator. He can communicate. Like, I give the brother that, right? But when somebody like Tony Gaskins, who's really firm in his stance, all the words won't really matter much,
Let me ask you this question, a follow-up question. Is that the reason why everyone dates?
Is that the reason
why everybody dates? Is that the reason?
But what I'm saying is we shouldn't promote what the devil doing. We shouldn't promote what is disadvantageous. So if someone is dating for sex,
posture right
if someone is dating for fun,
look at his posture.
Us as people with a platform should be promoting what is going to benefit society, not what is going to confuse society. So Albert Einstein said you cannot solve a problem from the same level it was created. So having people who are dating, talking to people who are dating, someone who's dating can't help someone who's dating, because the goal of
it can. You'll be better off getting better advice from somebody who's married, has been there, but somebody who's dating could probably give some good solid advice if they are encouraging people to date with intention, and they themselves are dating with intentions and moving toward marriage as well. But that's just my opinion.
Dating is marriage. So a married person can tell someone who is.
And also today, and to Tony Gaskin's point, today people treat dating as if it's a marriage. There's no clear, hard lines in between. People today treat dating like it's marriage. They want the person that they're dating to act like a husband. They want the person they're dating to act like a wife. They want those wifely and husbandly benefits without being married. So to his credit, Tony's credit, he's got a point here. You know, so people say dating is not the same for everybody, right? But people who are dating in long-term relationships expect the person they're dating to act like a spouse.
It's dating. This is what you need to look out for while you're dating. This is what you need to check off. This is what you need.
When the
to
last
make sure
time you've been actively dating multiple people? When the last time you actively been dating? Like not
So you want to see what gaslighting looks like? Here it is.
your wife, but you've been in a dating market.
This is what you have to understand.
No, so it's the question. You asked me a very direct question. I gave you an answer.
I'm
Point is,
answering you. I'm
okay,
answering
go
you
ahead.
now. Dating is principle based.
Mm.
It doesn't matter if it's 2023 or 1903. A relationship is based on principles, not the culture, not the trend.
And that's where Ace Metaphor and Tony Gaskins severely separate. Tony Gaskins is coming from a principle-based position on marriage, relationships, and as such, while Ace Metaphor is really trying to cater to the current modern dating trends. And when you do that, you're going to tailor your message toward the dating trends because you need that to stay relevant. You got to stay trendy to stay relevant. And I'm not saying that Ace Metaphor is irrelevant. So please don't twist what I'm saying. What I am saying is because of the type of platform he has and the type of reach people he's reaching, he has to stay trendy to stay relevant in that space.
Not the fad. Love does not change. Love stays the same because God is love and God does not change. Love is not contingent upon strip clubs and pornography and Instagram and social media. So the same way that my wife and I dated is the same way that people who will have a healthy marriage date today. But what you're trying to say is that we should date differently today because it's 2023. And that's not true because a relationship is based on principles. So
now,
what I'm
is that before you go forward, let me say this. I want to be very clear here. Specifically, I said people are not monolithic. Right now, you're bringing in God, devil, the Bible, and those are your particular principles. And I respect that, brother. I grew up religious too. I respect what you're saying. Dating, the main purpose of dating, it should be to find a mate. People shouldn't have sex before marriage. From the biblical perspective, I understand your perspective, brother, but I'm not going to dismiss your perspective simply because it doesn't align with mine or this person's or that person. I think the particular problem isn't me saying that your take is wrong. I respect it. I enjoy listening to your content. But to say how things should work for all people and dismiss everyone else that doesn't speak your particular alignment, to me, it's irresponsible. And the reason I say that is because there are all sorts of people doing all sorts of things, loving all sorts of ways. And if you think that your way is the only way that works, brother, I commend you. I'm just saying there are people from all walks of life that need to hear other perspectives, either to solidify theirs or make them curious about another way that could work better for them.
Now, you see how he communicates, right? He communicates with expression, and when he does that, it draws people in. He knows what he's doing. Jeshanette, what's going on? What's going on? Glad you're here. But he knows what he's doing when he's talking. He's on it. He's on it.
Brother, the one thing you said that was really interesting to me.
You're telling me who you're working for.
You said what?
You're telling me who you're working for.
And that's why.
So Tony Gaskin is not about the mess. He's principled. He's going to stand 10 toes down on what he believes. And he just told Ace Metaphor, you're telling me who you're working for, right? Essentially telling him that he works for the enemy, the devil. It's Tony Gaskins ain't playing. He's not.
A lot of people. Look,
but meaning you tell
when you say that, you go when you and what you're saying,
you're working to provide a platform for all of the voices, for all the different types of people, because people are not a monolith. So right. the voices that you are giving a platform to have no success if they are not in a healthy relationship.
I just told you that there are people on our panel that are married.
Exactly. That's not what's being posted.
Hey, I got a quick question here, Ace, because just to see if there's even any common ground, do you feel like there are some people who should not be putting out relationship content? Do you also?
So, I'm not one to promote anyone's like channels like that, especially, because but if you guys get a chance, go over to Hardly Initiated and watch their interviews. These are young men who are growing in the Lord. They seem to have a genuine desire and a thirst for the Word of God and how to live the way God has called them to live. So if you guys have not tuned into any of Hardly Initiated's live streams or podcasts, please, I recommend you guys do that.
I feel like there is a group of people who you would deem unqualified to speak on these topics.
Personally,
yes.
Man, you know, it's real interesting. I'm so busy with my play, brother, that I don't really look across the aisle. There are content creators that I don't particularly vibe with. I don't like their rhetoric. I don't like the way they speak to women in general.
Well,
but there
I'm not being specific about any one person. I just mean like, do you more so? Because obviously Tony pretty much stands on, if you're not married, like you should not necessarily be putting out this work.
I think that's probably, respectfully, man, I think that is
or you just have to frame the conversation. You have to frame the conversation. You have to say, this is not relationship advice. This is my dating experience.
Brother, I don't really think that, to your point, and to answer the question before, do I feel like that there are people that are not qualified to give general advice or relationship advice to a large percentage of the population? Absolutely. I think that there's people that are not qualified to my metrics. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a problem with somebody getting over here and saying, this is why I think this or I think that. But what I am saying is for us to not acknowledge the diversity in people and thought processes and ways in which relationships and love can work for many different people.
Now, not one relationship is the same. And there's no cookie cutter way to address the needs of every couple. God has a specific way, and that's as cookie cutter as you're going to get. So Ace Metaphor is saying some things that resonate with a lot of people, okay? And I think in today's day, this idea of, and this somewhat facade of diversity really is a facade for, I can do whatever I want, and you just need to accept it, okay? I want to go for what I want and be how I want to be, and you just have to accept it. So it's really tough. And Tony's situation, Tony's position is, I'm just going to encourage people to do it God's way, so that there is no confusion in this relationship space.
That to me is hard to wrap my head around. That's the thing that I want to say. It's hard for me to wrap my mind around. It sounds elitist. It sounds like, you know what I'm saying? And then when you said something, Tony, respectfully, when you say you're working for the other side, brother, that's why a lot of people struggle. Because I think you're implying that the other side is the devil, right? Is that what you're implying?
Meaning you're working for the other side of providing confusion. Because if you have 6 voices on the stage and there's 6 different messages, people leave more confused than they came. And if the people who we are seeing by the millions are not saying anything worthwhile, but it's a meaningless back and forth conversation that does not bring a solution, that does not help us build family.
Now, this is where I was like, all right, Tony, and I'm going to be objective here. This is where I was like, Tony, you're going on the attack of his platform. Let's stay just about his specific talking points. Because the Ace Metaphor built a very solid quality platform in this relationship space. I don't agree with what he's saying a lot of the times, but got to give him respect there. And I think you're about to see it now where Tony is coming off a little bit more high and mightier than others. And I think when we reach that place where we feel like, and because we can stand 10 toes down on our position, but be able to have a conversation and listen to somebody else's perspective in order to help, people, change a little bit about how they're thinking. I don't see Tony doing that right here, and you'll see why.
That does not help us better raise children, that does not help us climb the ladder as a people, as a group who are struggling economically, struggling relationally, struggling in every way. When we provide conversations that only bring confusion and don't bring clarity,
it don't seem like
you working
it
for
don't seem it don't seem like it really don't seem like, in my opinion, you actually pay much attention to what we got going on over here, brother. And that's respectfully. I'm respectfully saying that. I'm respectfully saying when you can use the adjectives you want to use, and then you don't empty messages. You can use all these adjectives, but just because you're making these blanket statements, that's why I said it's dangerous. It's dangerous when you're making blanket statements without having all the factual information.
Statement. It's not a blanket.
It is a blanket statement. You're making blanket statements, and you're putting people's names in it. You're putting people's names in it.
I'm living this as a husband and a
your
father,
your truth,
which is successful for
you.
And for our community. It's not just for me. Principles are principles.
So but your principle, you're not the only person with principles.
You're promoting casual sex. You're promoting hookup culture. And then you say, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. You having a conversation? You watching me online. You say you appreciate my message. Why haven't you called me to your conversation?
You know what? Why he doing all that? Look, why he doing all that?
Show with the posture.
Why he doing? Look, he doing all that.
You say you bringing all the voices. You say you bringing all the.
Whoa! You doing all that? You doing all that?
Why you not gonna call somebody who got 3.5 million people online and have been in the trenches since 2007, but you bringing all the sides? You ain't bringing all the sides. You bringing the side that you want to bring, and then you trying to take me to task for my words, and you trying to hold me for every word, but you didn't catch that you just call what you doing a play. I call what I do purpose.
I don't know what you mean about that.
You just said I'm so focused on my plate.
So my plate, PLATE, plate. This is the last. I messaged you March 10th. Yo, would love to feature you on my podcast. We're shooting April 28th, 29th. Any interest? And then it was like an automatic reply that says you don't receive messages, so I didn't attempt that way again. Brother, respect.
Yeah, bro. I got a website, man. You know how to reach me. I got a website.
Man, I'm 35.
And this is where Tony was like, Tony, I think you gotta relax. A little bit of humility in this position would probably help you. I don't think he was humble in this situation.
Brother, we do things a little differently.
I'm 39, bro. Don't act like you in another generation.
So here's the thing. It sounds like we might be seeing TG on the
tonight's conversation.
That's what it sounds like.
With just him and Ace, by the way. That's enough. That's enough for the stage. Just him and Ace.
Because you can't put this Ace. You can't put a.
I like how they're trying to lighten the mood right here, because it definitely needs to be lightened. Like there's a lot of third extremity swinging happening right here. So let's continue.
Brother like this on the stage with anybody that's even halfway single. Now here's the thing. Here's what I want to ask about this.
Listen, I don't mind being single people. What I'm saying is frame the conversation. We can't let it go out as relationship advice.
Facts.
This is a single experience, or this is a hookup experience, or this is I'm divorced and I'm telling you what went wrong in my marriage. But this is going out to the million as relationship advice.
Hey, Medina, what's up?
What I'm saying is, if you send the message of a single man who is having sex with women and dating, if you send that message viral, give the equal pressure and push of the therapist that you say you have on there, or the married person that you say you have on there who is happy and healthy, and do that split test of A and B so that it balances the conversation. Anytime I see something from tonight's conversation, it's on the same side of the line, and it is very confusing. I don't know what I just heard, what the purpose of it was. It's a man arguing at a woman arguing at a man, and there's no solution, there's no takeaway. It's all sensationalism. And one thing that I know is happening is money is being made, but there's no progress being made. And then a lot of times, if it's progress, we're going to feel it. And so my thing is, I'm not with the confusion and the games. I'm very direct in what I say.
And that's one thing he definitely is. Again, he'll stand 10 toes down on his position.
Very real about what I stand on. And at this stage in our life, especially in the Black race, we need results. We need solutions. We need progression. We need.
I agree. I agree.
I want to respond to that, because again.
Are you married?
No, I'm not. Again.
So how you
hey, brother, I done let you get your long little monologues out, and I just want to respond. What I'm saying to you is, I wish you would say I more when you speak. This is how I feel. This is what I think. This is the path. Because my only issue with what you're saying is you're not including that. Brother, if that works for you, great. But you have to understand that people that come ask questions that are at our shows, they're asking about them having casual sex. They're asking about this heartbreak that they didn't experience. They're asking about how do they find themselves again, how to have self-forgiveness, how to do this, that, and other. They're asking about a host of different things, brother. And sometimes I'm the most qualified person to speak to their experience or to give them advice on it. Sometimes it's Kitty. Sometimes it's Trip.
Shout out to Narc Free Living. What's going on, sis? Blessings, brother. Thanks for sharing your viewpoints. Thank you so much for being here, sis. And if you're not subscribed to this channel, please go. She goes live, I believe, every Saturday. And her channel is dope. She does a lot of work with people dealing with toxic relationships and marriages, and offers help and support there from a biblical perspective. So check her channel out for sure.
Person you said, oddly, never been that guy, but I've known Trip since we were kids, and he's always been that guy. My point I'm trying to make is, it would probably benefit to do a little bit more homework here. You know what I'm saying? And that's me being respectful. And then when you speak to every clip that you've seen, every 60-second clip that you've seen may speak more about your algorithm than you think. Brother, we post a host of different clips. If you go,
This is this is where it goes. Like, you're attacking his algorithm now, and you're attacking his algorithm for it possibly being your stuff on his algorithm. But Tony puts him in his place. He lets him know how he sees this, but it goes into attacking, and I just wish they just stuck to the point.
Go down our page right now. You'll see 4 or 5 clips on forgiveness. You'll see 4 or 5 clips on motherhood. You'll see 4 or 5 clips on us progressing as Black people in this country. And my point is, even further, if you want to actually...
Oh, and Knock Free Living is the official sponsor, one of the official sponsors of tonight's live stream. So shout out to you.
Watch the episodes. You'll get a further context. Brother, I can't speak for your algorithm, brother. Yes, we post a whole set of different...
You're not on my algorithm. I'm just correct. You're not on my algorithm.
Let me finish. I let you finish your monologue.
No, I just don't want you to put out false things because we do grab.
Like you are?
I'm just letting you know that it's not from my algorithm.
Right. So if you haven't, so what I'm saying is, if you haven't properly, this is my thing, and I respect your work, and I would love to have you on the panel. I think even coming to a show, you would see how different of an experience than what you think it actually is, how it would be. But what I would say is this: whether it's your algorithm or not, whether it's people sending it to you or not, yes, we post we host and field a whole bunch of different questions.
If you're not following or subscribe to Pastor R.C. Blake's, my recommendation is do that. He's good stuff also.
From people from different walks of life and experiences. And so, yes, one question may be quote unquote sensationalized, but that was a real question from an audience member. This question may be like, man, how do I find my confidence again after postpartum depression? And that's a clip that got just as many viral views. This question might be about somebody having casual sex and being flown out. But this question was about a woman saying, you know what, I feel like a single mother, even though I'm married. What do I do? And that clip got 10, 15 million views too. I can't speak to just a few clips that you've seen. And so when you're using that to frame, when you're using that to frame and say,
hey, calm down though, bro, because you're getting a little too much bass in your voice. So
hold on. Hey, Mr. Gaskins.
Whoa, whoa,
Danger.
Brethren, chill, right? Relax. At first, I didn't detect any bass in Ace Metaphor's voice. I did it, but it was a passionate conversation. It wasn't really, but Tony had his grown man frame and told this little boy, and figuratively, I'm not calling him a little boy. Watch the bass in your voice. watch the bass in your voice. And here's the thing, and this is what I can say I disagree with as far as Tony Gaskins' approach. Like he wasn't here. Well, first it was a podcast and he was the guest. He said it was okay to have Ace Metaphor up on the stream to have a conversation. Let Ace Metaphor say what he have to say and just listen. I don't think Tony was trying to listen at all. Mr. Gaskins was like, I really don't want to hear what this boy has to say. Let me just let him talk. And then now he's getting passionate. Let me tell this little boy, take the bass out of take the bass out of his voice. Tony got him in his feelings. He lost his frame. Yeah.
Mr. Gaskins. Mr. Gaskins, first of all, here's the thing. Anybody has watched my videos know I talk that way. Brother, when you say some stuff like that, you know what you're saying, dog. What I'm saying is you got on a platform and you're spreading misinformation. You're spreading misinformation. You say don't spread misinformation about an algorithm, but you got on this platform and you've already admitted that you ain't really deep dived in our content and you speaking as if you know what we are doing. And so you want to take your bait.
Listen, I got a question.
That's what he's doing.
One second.
Hey, so let me ask you this question because we got the super chats coming in, and I think
now I like how these young brothers could take control again of the conversation. Like I love it. So. This is ladies, let me just hold on one second. When guys get into conversations like this, it happens often, right? Guys get in conversations, their chests are poked out, some people may feel like, you're trying to sun me, and then you got the other brothers that are more level-headed saying, guys, chill, let's just have this conversation. And it becomes peace again. Like this is how it happens sometimes. So, yeah, but take the bass out of your voice. Tony ain't playing.
I think this is a question that the chat really wants to know. And shout out to Beautified by Lorraine. She says, if the goal is marriage, how can someone give relationship advice that leads to a successful marriage if they are not married?
So the answer to the question is, if that person's individual goal is marriage. I want to first say that. If
Okay.
that person's individual goal is marriage, that's one thing. And for that being said, there are people.
So, and that's the thing. To say that the purpose of there's multiple purposes of dating tells me that he really doesn't consider himself, or really, like, and honestly believes that he's an actual relationship coach or guru. For you to say that there's multiple purposes of dating, and and the end goal for all of it is not marriage, then you're saying that you promote casual dating, hookup culture, because people date for hookups. You promote recreational dating because, some people date because they know they can get something out of it. So if it's not marriage, then why are you in this space in the first place? And I think Tony's position on this is spot on. Like, if you're not encouraging people to end up in marriages while they're dating, then why are you here? Because it's coming off like you're here for the money.
To Tony's point, that have navigated that course and can give better insight if the goal is to be married. And you can look at their track history. This is why we have married people on our panel.
If the goal is to be married, there is no if. There's no if, brother. It's no if. If you are a dating coach and people are coming to you, like, you're going to teach them how to date, like, then you know better than the scammers a couple of years ago that, what were they called? Where they were just teaching men how to play game. Like, stop teaching people how to date. All right? Teach people good character while they're dating so that they can end up in a solid marriage. Listen.
Okay.
But not everybody's goal in dating is marriage. Brothers, for every one person that's dating to try to find marriage, there's 3 or 4 people dating just to find themselves. There's 4 or 5 people dating in an experimental way. There's 6 or 7 people dating just to distract themselves from a heartbreak. So not every.
Now, if you're dating to experiment, bye. Get out. No.
Danger.
No.
Danger.
You're not dating for an experiment. You're not dating to find yourself. Are you kidding me? You're gonna bring. See, and this is my position here. He's promoting that dating has different purposes, such as dating to find yourself. If you haven't found yourself, you should not be dating anyone. No one. And this is based on my voice. Like, no one. You shouldn't be dating no one if you're still trying to find yourself. Come on, Ace Metaphor. Your credibility.
Everybody that's out here dating is dating to be married.
And
Some people are dating just for fun. They're dating from a recreational sense. We get up here on this podcast.
I'm gonna say this because you're on the show, sister. People who date like that are narcissists in dating. If you're going to date somebody because you need to experiment and put somebody else in a position where you're experimenting on them, you're a narcissist, or you have narcissistic tendencies. I don't want to. If you're dating because you are dealing with something or you need healing, bringing them in that position so that you can get healing makes you no better than Jada Smith and what's the young boy? It makes you no different. Makes you no different. You don't belong dating if you are in a position where you don't know yourself, if you are experimenting, if you're dealing with things, if you're trying to find yourself. So this is where Tony Gaskins coming off really, like, he's on top with this. He's coming out on top. Like, it's crazy. You're not dating to find yourself. Let him know, Medina. You're not dating to find yourself at all. That's not how you do it. That's not how you do it. Let's continue.
Say, oh, in a perfect world, everybody would be dating for marriage. But this world ain't perfect. Most of your listeners have been led on or missed.
He brings up a good point, right? He brings up a good point. This world ain't perfect. Because in a perfect world, people will be dating for marriage. Wait a minute. Could it possibly be that the reason why the dating aspect of this world isn't perfect because people aren't dating for marriage? Could that be? Because in a perfect world, people will be dating for marriage. In an imperfect world, people are not dating for marriage. They're dating for things like finding themselves, things like experimenting, things like, what was the other thing he said? Healing. Yeah. So essentially, Ace, if you're watching this, you probably won't watch this. You're promoting toxic traits in dating.
Misled or time has been wasted on somebody they thought was intentionally dating, but that person was just recreational or experimental dating. So my point is, yes, if the goal is marriage and two people link and both of their goals are united as marriage, yes, a spiritual path for that is and spiritual advice is a good place to start. Somebody like Tony will be a great place to start. But getting to a person and finding a person and avoiding people that are not there to get you there is also a path too. And there are people that have been in this dating situation so long that they know how to recognize red flags a little bit better than people that haven't. And so those people have a voice too, and those people reach people too. So for us, that
can we look at this objectively, right? People have been dating in the dating stage so long that they know how to avoid red flags, but still not married, tells me that they don't know how to avoid red flags. They would have found somebody and got married. Or they become hypersensitive to red flags, that things that aren't really red flags, they consider red flags. So if somebody is imperfect, not perfect, if somebody, smacks their gum while they chew gum, like, that's not a red flag. But some of you guys would think that's a red flag. Like, so, guys, it just sounds very convenient. I think hookup culture is different from dating or courting. Well, according to this, he's not differentiating it at all. Now, if he was to differentiate it, for sure. But yeah, I believe that Ace is definitely, and that's the problem with people who have ideals, right? And I'm not saying it's bad to have ideals, but you'll think that your ideals, actually, I can't even say it's pretty much ideals. I think Tony is operating off of actual ideals. I think Ace tends to consider what the audience want to hear and give them that. So it's not really, so I'll keep it there. Let's continue.
Act like we live in this idealistic world where everything is how it should be, and we're not dealing with a whole bunch of BS in this dating situation. I just think is out of touch, for real.
Now let me say this, because it's some people in the chat now that's a little worried. The thing is, both of y'all are leaders in the space, regardless of who likes what.
Facts.
Both of y'all got millions of.
And that man told me to take some bass out of my voice, and that crossed the line to me.
Listen, Ace,
that was crossing the line.
Cross the line when you got the bass in your voice, bro. You hear what I'm
Bro, I always got bass in my voice.
Listen, I really don't want to have to end this conversation.
Keep the love.
Because I do got just one more question. Because like I was saying,
I feel like that was unprofessional. It really was.
I thought that was unprofessional too. I'm not gonna lie. I agree with Ace here. I thought that was unprofessional. We're having a conversation, and not only that, right? You guys are probably thousands of miles apart. You're on camera, like, I think it's the wrong time to flex. It is.
Hey, stop with the gaslighting. It was unprofessional with you yelling. So we having a conversation.
Fellas.
What you got to realize is what I'm telling you is, I understand.
Yo, have you seen any of my?
Shout out to Chelsea with the $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Great show tonight, Dre. Keep it up. Loving the commentary. Thank you so much. I'm hoping I'm adding value to this as well. So thank you so much for the super chat. Greatly appreciate it. You too are a sponsor of tonight's live stream. Thank you so much for being a sponsor.
Videos, bro.
Yes, I've seen your videos.
How do I do my videos?
What did I say?
Wait, fellas, I don't want to get too caught up in the conversation about this.
Yes, my brother. Put them in their place.
Right. See, that's what I try to tell y'all, though. If y'all want to bring Ace on here, let Ace come on here and talk. If you bring me on here, let me talk. Because I don't, where God bring clarity, the devil bring confusion. All this is
There you go again, bro.
more people. And so I stand on what I stand on, bro. I draw a line in the sand. You trying to placate to everybody and their mama. I don't care about what this lifestyle, that lifestyle. I'm focused on what's better for the people. And one thing that I see is that a two-parent household with healthy love is always going to be a child's choice if they have a choice. If they forced to be with one parent, then they will accept that. But if they get the choose.
So I think that he's going somewhere that the conversation didn't need to go. I think he was going. I understand the point he was trying to make here, but he should have just stayed on the dating aspect of what he Ace Metaphor believed, because Ace Metaphor never said anything about 2-family homes or single family homes or whatsoever. But I hear where he's coming from. He's trying to show how a marriage is what creates solid, stable societies and families. So I hear that. But I think Ace Metaphor, I don't believe Ace Metaphor is going to be like, hey, single families or single parent homes are just fine, because he didn't say that. At least not that I heard.
They're going to say, I want 2 parents in the home, exemplifying love, supporting me. I could talk to this parent about this. I could talk to that parent about this. Life is not about doing what makes us feel good and what we want. Life is about purpose, and it's about doing what hurts sometimes. Life is about doing what we have to do, not what we want to do. Do you think as a man that I just want? It's not that I just want to be with one woman. I have to die out to myself. I have to crucify my flesh for the good of my family, for the good of society, for the betterment of the world. So yes, somebody may want to just hook up. Somebody may be dating to heal. But when they want to do that, we need to be there to say, hey, you should not be dating to heal. You need to heal before you deal.
Now, if you are dating to heal, please don't. Please stop. Stop right now, because you shouldn't be dating, okay? Dating is not a form of healing. It's a form of transferring that hurt to somebody else.
You should not be dating to just hook up, because you are having sexually transmitted diseases, and you can catch a physically transmitted disease that alters your life. So it's not about just giving a platform. Not everybody want to live life legally, but we don't need to give a platform to people who want to live illegally. Not everybody want to do half of the things right, but we don't need to give them a platform for the sake of let's let everybody speak when they speaking from their mess, when they speaking from their brokenness, when they speaking from their pain. So it's a time and a place for everything, and you give a space to people who are doing what is good for society as a whole. It's not just about making money. It's not just about touring and being famous. And the thing about it is
having different voices.
If you're having these conversations every night on tonight's conversation, and the conversation is productive, then you should be able to see one of the multiple millions of women who are qualified to be your wife. So if your own conversations can't help you find your wife and settle down and be married and have a family with your wife, then what is the point of these conversations if the creator can't even benefit from it? So that's
I think he went for the juggler just now. Is there any blood on his shirt? Wow. He just said that you have all these millions of women out there, and you talk about all these relationships, and you can't find a woman out there. He probably has. I don't want to assume. Let me not assume. But wow, he went at his neck just now. You can't find a woman? Like you still can't find a woman? But Ace Metaphor puts him in his place.
Brother, hold on. Let me respond to them. See, hold on. No, let me respond to my man.
No, I got you. I want you to give a closing statement here, because we're gonna wrap this one up. And Ace, if you really want to have another conversation continued, we're gonna talk outside of this. But please go ahead and give your closing statement here, so we can continue the show.
What I'm saying is, my man right there just throwing a whole bunch of he don't know what he's talking about around. I'm in a committed relationship.
You sure?
I'm working. Brother, I let you every time I start to talk, you want to interrupt. I didn't interrupt you. I let you get your stuff off, bro. I even let you say you got too much bass in your voice. I let you get the whole little rah-rah out. What I'm trying to tell you is, what my particular issue here is, when you speak, brother, you're dismissing a whole bunch of other voices just because it doesn't sound like yours. What I said in the beginning of this conversation is, I respect your voice, brother. It resonates with me because that's the way I grew up. So I've been a fan of yours for a while. I was disappointed in your clip, though, because what you are saying is, I have the only way to make this work. And voices like me is how this can be more successful. No one is.
So Tony's position isn't that he has the answer. He's saying God has the answer. So I just want to clear that up. And I'm not like speaking for Tony, because again, I'm not like the uber fan of Tony's. For a while, I just wasn't trying to hear him, be honest with you. But I can objectively say that he really is trying to speak from God's point of view, from the Bible, and not his own. I'm sure he adds some of his own opinions on it, but
disagreeing about 2-parent households. This is something we talk about routinely on tonight's conversation. No one is disagreeing with safe sex. We talk about that routinely, brother. We talk about routinely heal before you start dating. Find who you are before you link yourself with somebody. Identify your identity before you merge yours with another person. These are things we consistently talk about. My ending thought to you, man, is I would suggest, before name dropping, maybe you do a little bit more research. And if you don't want to do more research, then maybe don't name drop. That's all I'm simply saying to you, brother, because I felt like even through talking to you now, I feel like you even admitted that you're not even tapped in. And if you're not tapped in, why are you giving opinions about things you ain't tapped in on? You the one that brought my name up, brother. You the one that keep bringing up money and fame and all this different stuff when you don't even know why my purpose is this. You ain't sat and had one conversation with me, but you insinuating on the internet.
So if I can just say this. So he just said that you're saying all these things and you don't know what my purpose is. Let's be clear. If you are on your purpose, you don't have to say what your purpose is. People see what your purpose is. They see the results of the purpose. So Ace is it's not easy to see what his purpose is. It really isn't. It's not. And so I think him saying that is a little off, right? If somebody is really on their purpose, you'll be able to identify what their purpose is. Okay? I work with amazing teachers and I know what their purpose is. They don't got to tell me what it is. Their purpose is to be amazing teachers and to get children to learn how to read and write and become successful academically. That's their purpose, right? That's their purpose. With Ace Metaphor, it's not clearly visible. You don't have to say what your purpose is. Most people, they understand that if you are walking the walk, you really don't have to talk the talk. So
that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I feel like that's disrespectful man to man, brother, because I ain't never spoke ill on your name online. I respect what you're doing. Show some respect for other people that's doing similar things just for different people, brother. That's all I'm saying. And if you want to speak like that, cool. But you got to understand people might have a problem with it. And I have a problem because I feel like you're misinformed.
Well, Ace, listen, first of all, I appreciate you for coming up here and us having conversations as men that have two different perspectives and still able to talk it out today. Listen, I'm gonna hit you up outside of this conversation, but thank you so much for coming up on the platform. Your first time on Harley Initiated. Thank you very much, brother. Okay.
Appreciate you, Ace.
All right, this on peace.
Yes, sir. So, man, TG, how you feeling right now, man? After that conversation, because I know you haven't spoke to Ace in a very long time.
I've never spoke to Ace.
Ever?
He emailed me. I've never spoke to him. But
wow.
because he said something. He said, I respect you, brother. I respect what you stand on. I don't respect what he stands on. And that's what I'm telling him. Like I said, I respect R.C. Blake's.
yes,
I respect what I respect, but I don't respect what
he will stand 10 toes down. This brother he's not going to budge. This is like one of those situations where what happens when the unstoppable force meets the immovable object. Like
he stands on because what he's saying to me is that he's more focused on telling every story and having all of these voices. But what I know from panels, I've been doing events, producing events myself since 2012.
Yeah.
So over 10 years, what I know from panels is that the audience typically leaves more confused than they came. Because if you ask 10 different people their opinion, you're going to get 10 different opinions.
What's going on,
what we
Bella?
have to do
Glad
as leaders is we got to find our voice, and then we have to use our voice and we speak our message. So he's saying do a deep dive. I'm not going to do a deep dive into the kiddie pool. If I see all of these clips and they all are very shallow and
he said he's not going to do a deep dive into the kiddie pool. Like,
surface level, why am I going to give an hour of my life to something that already tells me makes no sense for the grand scheme of things?
I agree.
So it's not about me dismissing voices. It's just that not everybody should be speaking. So, and that's just a fact of the matter. Why do you think we got one speaker of the house and not 50? Not every voice should be speaking on things that affect people's livelihood. Things that
see you too,
people
sis.
are
Glad
losing
you're
their
here.
life over.
How's
things
that little one?
Kids are being bullied and kids are growing up without a parent because of toxic relationship insight. And so the thing about it is if you're going to have a conversation, you have to thoroughly balance the conversation. And so one of the guys who hit me up, who went on the conversation, was Anthony O'Neill. And Anthony is a single man. So when he hit me up, I'm like, well, why are you bringing Anthony on there? Anthony's single. And it seemed like the other people single. So I haven't heard of like somebody of notoriety and somebody who is proven, who has an audience, who their audience has said, hey, I trust you. And that's why the 1,000, the 100,000 or the million of us are supporting you because I trust you. I haven't seen nobody like that go on there. And so that's my point is, if you're in the space and you're dealing with relationships, then you need to have the people who done been in the trenches who, because if I'm in there, and somebody saying they doing this, they doing that, I'm gonna balance the conversation. I'm gonna let Buddy say what he's saying, but then I'm gonna say, listen, this is what you got to think about over here. You got to think about sexually transmitted diseases. You got to think about spiritually transmitted diseases, these soul ties. You got to think about the person that you sleep with. You could be the straw that broke the camel's back, and this person could come and take your life. That's what I'm gonna balance it like that, and that's what I am against. I'm against the one-sided conversations that don't have another side that is bringing clarity. Whereas if you're having a one-sided conversation, and this side has proven track record. This side has success. This side has stability. So where I'm speaking, he said, I'm only caring about my voice. This isn't my voice. I'm carrying a message of God. I'm carrying a message
As I said
of
before.
family. This isn't something, I was in the streets. I was a womanizer. That's not my voice. I'm doing what I have to do. This ain't about me. It's about the message. And so that's the thing. That's what I feel like people who, when your spirit is in the right place, you understand it.
He's speaking some good stuff here. The last part, I don't agree. If your spirit in the right place, then people, not everybody's going to understand it if your spirit is in the right place. Sometimes you got to make it clear. But yeah, the little one's good. I'm so happy for you, and glad you're back. Good point. Where's the fruit? And again, here's a key of all this: the outcomes. What's the desired outcome? Spiritually transmitted diseases is a big component. Yep. Oh, and glad you're here. And if you're not subscribed to this channel, her and her husband they do amazing things. They have a great conversation that they do. I think it's every Monday. That I'll be tuning in. They do it on Facebook and on YouTube. So if you're not subscribed to Black Love United, please subscribe to them as well. Ace is not teaching men and women to wait on sex before marriage. Will lead to soul ties. This is bad. I agree. And that's where, and let me exit out of this because I'm not going to play anymore. That's where the issue comes in. That's where the difference is as well. Ace, they're very different. And Tony's position in calling out people is not to just name drop. He really wants to see solid marriages. And the truth is, I can't say it's the truth, but when you're looking at, no, it's the truth. When you're looking at tonight's conversation, the panels, I've even shared a couple of their stuff on my my stories, on my reels or whatever. But at the end of the day, you got to understand that the outcome is what's important. And if Ace Metaphor believes that there are multiple purposes for dating, and some of those purposes that people have will result in other people getting hurt out of it, that's not a good position to be in. So if the goal is not to find a spouse and get married, then why is it dating? It's not dating. It's not court. And here's the thing. Some of you guys really believe that you know what courting is, right? Like that lady who wouldn't accept the date from Cheesecake Factory. She said she needs to be courted, right? She needs to be courted, and the man has to pay for everything. That's not what courting is. When you're courting someone, you are dating somebody with the intention of getting married, not with the intentions of finding somebody to finance your life. So you are getting to know somebody with the intention. And here's the thing. Courting has nothing to do with where somebody takes you and what they buy you. Courting has everything to do with you getting to know who their character is, determine compatibility while you're getting to know each other, and to see if you guys are equally yoked spiritually, meaning that you guys both believe that Jesus died on the cross for your sins and you're saved. All right? That's how people court. And we'd be adding our own definitions to these things. No, it's not courting. It's not courting. Tony bothered me like how D1 bothered me. Get out the way. Bothered me by calling out people. It always backfires. Yeah, I think, if you can call out people and their talking points, that's one thing. But when you call people out and they start attacking them, I think that's another thing. Like I got attacked for speaking about my disagreements with Kevin Samuels and what he was saying. I never, ever said anything horrible or bad about him, about his character. I talked about his talking points, what I disagree with, how they can cause harm, and people came at me. So I agree with you. I agree with you there. All right. True. Just speaking on Ace, since they both are the topic of the conversation, you're right. This is why if they are not followers of Christ, for real, believers should be careful to follow. Yeah, especially if you're a Christian. That woman don't know what courting means. Most people don't, you know. And if you're a gentleman out there, don't fall into this trap that society wants to tell you to believe that, you know, your position in courting is to give all your resources to somebody while you're dating. When you're courting to get to know somebody. When you're dating, you're getting to know somebody casually at first, but it should lead to courting, all right? But if you're just trying to hook up with somebody, let's not call it dating. Let's call it, I'm just trying to ruin somebody's life for the moment. Like, let's call it what it is. You want to casually date because you want to heal from the past, you want to rebound, right? Because according to what the world says, there's no better way to get over somebody than to get under somebody else. Toxic. Come on. If you need to find a rebound, stop dating. If you need to heal, stop dating. For crying out loud, if you don't know yourself, keep your butt home. Keep your butt home, okay? Because in the wake of you trying to find yourself, in the wake of you trying to find healing while you're dating, there's bodies. And I'm not talking about bodies that you've been intimate with. I'm talking about bodies of emotional deaths that you're leaving behind you, a trail. You're not going to heal that way. You know how you heal? By understanding that you're not perfect and you need work done in yourself, finding a good counselor that's going to actually work with you on the issues and teach you coping skills, self-regulation skills, point you in the direction of Jesus. Come on. And Tony's position is that. Can't hate on him for this. You can't. I think he was a little, macho in that whole take the bass out of your voice thing. He could have did without that. But the alternative is, at least Ace Metaphor's position, it's not beneficial to relationships and marriages. So, and that's my position on that, guys. But I do appreciate you guys for watching, and I'm going to end it here because I've been live now for, an hour and 15 minutes, longer than I really wanted to be. But that's all good. But I'm glad that everybody is here and watching and engaged. And I went the whole time on Facebook Live. So if you're watching on Facebook Live, you're welcome. You're welcome, because I had no intentions of staying that long on Facebook Live, but I am. But then I saw one of my former students, my student body president's mother, in the chat, and I was like, I cannot end this, because if I end this, the president would be highly disappointed in me. So I did not do that. But guys, thank you guys so much for watching. It's time for me to thank you guys so much. I see all the yes. Thank you for the love. I greatly appreciate you all. With that being said, it's time for me to play my outro music. Thank you guys so much for watching the live stream. Now listen, there's a couple of ways that you can support the channel, okay? First, if you made it this far and haven't liked the video, please do me a favor, hit the like button. Whether you're watching on Facebook or you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button and share this out with people on Facebook and on YouTube. And subscribe to the channel on YouTube if you're not subscribed to my channel already. Hit the bell notification next to it so it'll let you know when I upload new videos. I'm gonna go live like I'm doing right now. And if you would like to support the channel, there's a couple of ways to do so. You can hit the super chat button and become the sponsor of the show. Shout out to Knock Free Living and Chelsea's Liveline, who sponsored the channel with a $20 super chat and a $10 super chat. Also, you can sponsor the channel by going on YouTube and hitting the super thanks button if you're watching the replay, and you can be the show sponsor there as well. You can also join our channel through membership by hitting the membership button down below, or go to Patreon. If you're watching on Facebook, this is for you. You go to patreon.com/Harrison Family Values, and you can join there. We have very inexpensive monthly support tiers that won't break the bank, and it'll help support the channel as well. Or you can go to our merch section, our store section on YouTube, and pick up some merch like this shirt here. But did you pray about it? We have coffee mugs and Contigo type coffee mugs, not Contigo the brand, but like type coffee mugs, shirts, hoodies, all that stuff. And I got some other things in the works, other designs in the works to help. Yeah, so it's good. Support the channel if you guys can. And any other ways? This is the best way though, because you get something in return. Okay, you get something in return. So it's not like you're just giving me money, like you're getting something in return. Also, you can purchase my book. If you go to Amazon.com and do a search for From a Fatherless Father to His Sons, you can purchase my book there as well, and that would be support of supporting the channel too. So guys, thank you guys so much for watching. And if you're watching, leave a comment down below after the fact. Let me know what you guys thought of the conversation. Let me know what you think about this whole modern dating era that we're in. Is it beneficial to marry? Like, do you think that how people dating as a whole today is leading to marriage, or is it just, hey, I just want to have a good time, get what I can, and then move on to the next? So let me know what you guys think in the chat. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate you all. And until the next upload or live stream, I'm out. Peace. Oh, I gotta play this first. This is brand new.